What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, ladies? Happy Monday. We got a bunch of sugar honey iced tea to talk about. The View replaced my favorite person on The View with a dumb, I almost said it, but I'm a Christian. Mom Dunny, wife on the internet tripping. We got to talk about that. Kristi Noem, I'm not letting you get away with it, Kristi Noem. You spent $200 million on a commercial. Trump was nice to you. I'm not being nice. Jesse Jackson's funeral was out of control with these Democrats just ruining that man's legacy, what was left of it. But before we talk about any of that, we have to talk about these terrorists that were in New York City over the weekend. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. I got a few things I want to talk about before we get into business here. Let's talk about the membership program. I told you we're going to roll out the membership program. We're going to do it better than anybody is doing it on the internet. We're going to start here, and then we're going to progress from there. Let me show you the tiers. You can start the first tier out as a rookie, all right? You get some emojis. You'll be able to join the members-only chat. That's the entry level. I want to make it very easy and smooth for people to support the channel and get in at a low entry point. Then you have the officer level. So you can become a police officer. You can include everything when you're a rookie. You have early access to videos, members-only polling, and post-show access, which is the post-show clarity that we do after the show. All right, in the commander level, we're going to change that name. Y'all give me some names that you want. Should we do sergeant, lieutenant, or SWAT? You let me know for the commander position, and I will change it to that. You get everything you get after being promoted from being an officer, 30% off discount, and also exclusive content. Like when I went to the UN, when I go to UFC fights and stuff like that, I'll try to add some extra content just for you. And those who are absolutely super fans, my deputy chiefs out there, you get access to early access to events. You get autographed items, early access to that, special Q&As once a month where you can just ask me any question anytime you want when we do it monthly, all right? And you get everything you get when you move up the ranks from officer all the way to deputy chief. All right, so go and subscribe. I got one more thing I'm going to say about that. We are at 1,977 members. When we get to 2,000 members, we're going to do a contest, and I'm going to give away 3 $100 gift cards to the top 3 winners of the contest. As soon as we hit 2,000 subscribers or members, we're going to do the contest. We're going to have a good time. I already got one for $500. When we get a milestone, I'm going to give away $500 gift cards. But we're going to give away 3 $100 gift cards for those who win the contest. Now, let's get into the show. New York City. I was just in New York City not too long ago. I don't participate in protesting and all that other stuff. I was getting ready to go by Mom Donnie's mansion and cuss at him, but I'm a Christian. So when I walked past the church, I said, Lord, forgive me. I'm not going to do that. And I just went on about my business. I did see all them people down on, I don't know what street that is, selling. All out in the open, crazy. But let's talk about these terrorists, because these Muslim terrorists are out of control. And the guy just tried to commit a Boston bombing type situation just this weekend. And wait till you hear what Mamdani said about it. This dude is the mayor. You cannot tell me that this doesn't create more animosity against Muslims. Now, there are good Muslims just like there's good people in every aspect of life. But, bro, I don't see Jews out here doing this, or Christians, or Mormons, or Seventh-day Adventists, or what they call it. What's the one that believe in Jesus and God? What's that? I forget the name of that. Y'all don't. I can't get no help from nobody. Jehovah's Witness. That's who it is. All right, let's get to clip 1. Roll it.
An explosive device with bolts and screws was thrown into a crowd. It happened in New York City on Saturday during a protest that turned violent outside the mayor's official residence. CBS's Chanel Call is there with the very latest tonight. Chanel.
And Jerika, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, who is Muslim, was inside Gracie Mansion when a small anti-Islam protest took place here yesterday afternoon. A larger counter-protest then showed up, and police say 2 men who were part of that group brought those homemade devices.
Stay in New York.
This is the moment a homemade bomb was ignited outside the New York City mayor's residence Saturday afternoon.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that Allah Akbar in the background? I just want to be clear. I want to be clear. They said Allah Akbar. I don't hear Jews saying Shabbat Shalom and throwing bombs. This religious ideology is a problem. Now, you may be a good Muslim, but you got to understand that there was something in that book causing people to be nutty. Come on, play it again. I want y'all to hear him go Allah Akbar.
A larger counter-protest then showed up, and police say 2 men who were part of that group brought those homemade devices.
Stay in New York.
This is the moment a homemade bomb was ignited outside the New York City mayor's residence Saturday afternoon.
He threw a bomb? Did he throw a bomb, bro?
NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch says the device did not explode, but that it could have caused serious injury or death.
Based on preliminary examination and X-ray imaging, the devices, which were a bit smaller than a football, appear to be a jar wrapped in black tape, importantly, with nuts, bolts, and screws, along with a hobby fuse that could be lit.
The man seen throwing it, 18-year-old Amir Balat and his 19-year-old friend Ibrahim Kayumi, both from Pennsylvania, were arrested. Authorities say they were part of a group of nearly 125 people counter-protesting a much smaller anti-Islam demonstration led by Jake Lang.
The violent left. Calm down.
A pardoned U.S. Capitol insurrectionist who has frequently sought out political confrontations in the months after President Trump gave him clemency. In a statement, mayors are...
Trump, that's one clemency you shouldn't have gave. Put that dirty mofo in jail. He is a sorry, stupid son of a gun. Putting God's name out there, and he a devil. He a racist, stupid devil. And I can't stand Jake Lang, and I hope he go to jail. That dude is stupid. And all of y'all who may not be aware, he is a blatant racist. I almost to show you the video. We have to pull it up. We'll do it another time. But he said he don't want his daughters dating ends. He said the N-word. I'll show you some clips in a minute. I'm going to show you some clips to verify in a minute. Finish it.
Ron Mamdani saying, quote, yesterday, white supremacist Jake Lang organized a protest outside Gracie Mansion rooted in bigotry and racism. Adding, quote, what followed was even more disturbing. Violence at a protest is never acceptable.
All right, we done with this clip because I want to get to some juicy stuff. Y'all see that fool didn't say nothing about them being Muslim terrorists? That's complicity. I think that's a word. He's complicit. He is complicit. That sorry son of a gun, Mamdani, because he's a Muslim, he can say, oh, it's violence. No, it's terrorism from Muslims. Screaming Allah Akbar. You can call Jake Lang a white supremacist and say it's bigotry and white supremacy, but you can't call out a person throwing a pipe bomb to kill somebody a radical Islamic terrorist. Because you the problem, bruh. All right, come on. I'm hot right now. I got an hour of this. Let's get it. Come on, finish the clip.
Are expected to have their first appearances in federal court today, but these photos were also shared in the criminal complaint. Investigators say they show the suspects handling the homemade bombs and the components of the explosives. Again, all of this unfolded Saturday afternoon.
This is important. Roll it.
As alleged, both defendants have admitted that they acted on Saturday because of ISIS. As Kayumi was being placed into an NYPD vehicle following his arrest, a person in the crowd asked why he had done this. As shown on NYPD body-worn camera footage referenced in the complaint, Kayumi responded with ISIS. And at the precinct, After being advised of his Miranda rights and waiving those rights, Qayumi said in recorded post-arrest statements that he had watched ISIS propaganda on his phone and that his actions that day were partly inspired by ISIS. The complaint also details statements made by Amir Balat after his arrest. En route to the NYPD precinct, Balat made spontaneous statements without being questioned by NYPD officers that were captured on body-worn camera footage. He said, "This isn't a religion that just stands when people talk about the blessed name of the prophet. We take action, as well as, if I didn't do it, someone else will come and do it." And later, after waiving his rights, he requested paper and wrote a message declaring in part, "I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State. Die in your rage, you kuffar." Now, "die in your rage" is a commonly known ISIS slogan, and kuffar is an Arabic term that refers to non-believers. He also told investigators that he had hoped to carry out an attack even bigger than the Boston Marathon bombing, which he noted resulted in only 3 deaths. These statements, as set forth in the complaint, make clear that this was not random violence. This was a planned attack motivated by extremist ideology and inspired by a violent foreign terrorist organization. The complaint alleges not only why the defendants acted, but how. Preliminary testing has determined that one of the devices contained triacetone triperoxide, or TATP, also commonly referred to as Mother of Satan, a highly volatile explosive that has been used in multiple terrorist attacks over the last decade. As we have previously discussed, the NYPD identified a vehicle yesterday on East End Avenue that was linked to the defendants. Inside that vehicle, investigators recovered handwritten notes referencing TATP explosive and listing chemical ingredients for the type of explosive device used by the defendants on Saturday. Make no mistake, what happened this weekend was incredibly dangerous, and the ongoing investigation will be exhaustive. From the first moments of that investigation, the NYPD has been working seamlessly with our federal partners, many of whom have joined us here. In particular, the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, which includes...
All right, ma'am, thank you for your service. At least she had enough gall to tell the truth and what was happening. I want y'all to hear Mom Donnie's statement. It's not that long of a statement. I'm just going to play about a minute of it. Listen to this fool. Like, how y'all voted for this. Y'all silly in the mud. Y'all voted for, and you Jews. Every Jew, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should take the Torah and slap yourself in the head with it because you too stupid and you voted for a Muslim that hates you and that won't even call out Muslim terrorists. Imagine how much terrorism is growing in that city because this fool is terrorist adjacent. Wait till you see what his wife say. Y'all, man, y'all silly. But roll the clip. I'm just going to play 30 seconds. Forget the clip. I don't even want to play the clip. Just know the fool didn't say nothing about them being terrorists. He said nothing about the terrorist activity. He said nothing about Islam. All he did was talk about Islamic hate, but didn't talk about the hate that the Islam people did against these weirdos that claim to be MAGA. So let's go on to the next clip, because I think that Stella, she had a good take on this, so I want to play Stella Escobedo's clip. Roll it.
Okay, so I worked in mainstream media for many years, so it doesn't
Hold on,
surprise
before
me
we
that
start
they're not
that,
covering.
shout out to Stella. Stella got a new show. Stella got a groove back. Some of y'all know that reference. It ain't Stella, but it's something else. But it's similar to that. I forget what's the name of that show. Some got a groove back. It is Stella got a groove back. See, I knew Grant was holding me down like a quarter pound. Yeah, Stella got a groove back. Go follow Stella. We'll put a link in the description section. Go follow Stella on a new show. Make it big, because Stella is one of my favorite people online. She's just she's a great person and she's smart. And I've been knowing her ever since I was at TPD. Roll the clip.
This story, but head on a swivel. Pay attention, because I need to tell you what's been happening in New York City. Yesterday, outside of Gracie Mansion, a protest turned into something far more serious. Authorities say what appears to have been a dirty bomb or an IED was thrown at protesters, and one of the men doing it was shouting Allah Akbar.
All I can't stand this.
Now, police have arrested a total of 6 people in connection with this incident. Now, 2 of the suspects identified so far are Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi. Reports say Balat's family is from Turkey, Kayumi's family is from Afghanistan. Now, it doesn't stop there. Today in New York City, there were additional bomb scares. So let's put all of this into context. Just days ago, reports surfaced that Mayor Zohran Mamdani's wife liked social media posts celebrating the October 7th massacre. And when asked about it, Mamdani deflected. And now, after this explosive incident outside of Gracie Mansion, the mayor is blaming white people. He didn't address the suspects. He didn't actually talk about the radical ideology that they were Muslim. But can we really be surprised? I mean, his administration has been filled with people who openly are anti-American, anti-Jewish.
I want y'all to go to Stella page and finish watching her. She does a really good take. The funny thing is, next time we have a Stella clip, let's just use Stella as the news versus the news clip because she did a way better job. But I'm running out of time. So let's get to Mamdani's wife. That dirty dog. She a dog. Dog-faced pony. Whatever Biden said, dog-faced pony soldier. I don't even know what that means. But it sounds about as stupid as this woman is. And yeah, I'm talking about your wife, because she a terrorist. You're a terrorist. Look at what she did. Roll the clip.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani's wife, Rama Douaji, liked Instagram posts that appeared to support the October 7th attacks on Israel. Jewish Insider, an online outlet covering U.S. politics and Jewish affairs, was first to report this, and it's unclear when Douaji actually liked the photos. CBS News verified that Douaji liked a post from the Slow Factory on October 7th, 2023, showing images from the attack, and another from the People's Forum a day after the attack showing protests in New York City. Mamdani responded to the report on Friday.
Is it anybody's business, and is it fair to question you about it?
You know, my wife is the love of my life, and she's also a private person who has held no formal position on my campaign or in my city hall. I, however, was elected to represent all 8.5 million people in the city, and I believe that it's my responsibility, because of that role, to answer any questions about my thoughts and my policies and my decisions.
Mamdani has called Hamas's attack a horrific war crime, but has also criticized the Israeli government's response, often calling it genocidal.
Now think about this for a minute. I love my wife. She's the love of my life. What my wife like, I'm accountable for. I tell her all the time, baby, you can't. Hey, you going too far. You gotta, you Brandon Tatum's wife, so you gotta watch it sometime because they gonna come after me if it's not something we both agree on. But if my wife is liking the post and I'm the president, she don't count? What you mean? She the first lady. What do you mean? That's like, let me put this in perspective. This will get your mind thinking. And then we're going to go to Rappaport because he had something to say about it. But just imagine, let's just say my wife was a racist. I was a white person. My wife is white, and she was a racist. And she was liking all this racist content about black people. You think people will be okay with that and say, no, that's just my wife. She's not a part of my campaign. And that's the stance that she take. What it is alluding to, in my opinion, is that she is exposing what y'all feel behind closed doors. Because I guarantee you 99.999% of what my wife posts and what she like is what we both agree on. Some things I can't say because I'm trying to be neutral in some cases, but I don't disagree with my wife. We in the household talking about the same thing. Same thing with him and his wife. Roll Rappaport clip real quick.
Zohran the moron's wife was
giving him full screen
liking social media posts on October 7th, 2023. Mass liking while there was mass killing, raping, and kidnapping. Rawa, a.k.a. Zohran the moron's wife. You're sick. Do not be afraid to tell us how you really feel because we already know. You're not just pro-Palestine. Oh, no. You're pro-massacre. The Mamdani household is pro-massacre because on the weekend of October 7th, while scrolling, you liked multiple posts celebrating that 1,200 innocent people were killed at a music festival and snatched out of their homes, kidnapped, raped, and murdered. I have been to those homes. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the bullet-riddled rooms. I've seen the blood-soaked mattresses. You're a sicko. You celebrate that? You like that? Zohran the moron, the love of your life, is a hate-filled person. She's rotten to her big apple core. There's no photo shoots, op-eds that is going to make this story go away. Mr. Mayor, for now, you cleaned up your image to get elected. But we all know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, whether it be your wife, your father, your mother, or the people that you have hired. There is an unmistakable pattern, and you cannot just brush it off your shoulder anymore. You share a bed, and you share the same rhetoric as your wife. Your wife likes, supported, and celebrated when the most vulnerable people were attacked, raped, and killed. You were silent just last month when thousands of innocent civilians were slaughtered in the streets of Iran. Your wife is you. Wedded bliss. Wedded bliss. New York City does not and will not stand for this hatred. You and your wife have my undivided attention.
Now, I'll say this. If my wife were to like something that we both disagree with, and somebody asked me, your wife liked that? I say, yes, she did. We talked about it. I owe that to the people. I don't just get to say, oh, she don't count. You going to hell. I hope y'all, you Jews, I don't want to hear nothing from no Jews that voted for him. This how some of y'all end up in the Holocaust. Because y'all, I don't know about all of y'all, but some of y'all ended up in a bad spot because you were too silly to stand up when others were saying, that's wrong, that's wrong. You want to go along, get along, and people then took over, and now they put you in burn camps. And I swear, if it wasn't for good white people, I honestly think Jewish people in America be messed up, and Jewish people in Israel. Because there's a lot of Jewish people that are stupid just like black people. You still voting for Democrats? And when your native country got attacked, the Democrats were supporting Hamas. Are they required about it? And you voted for them people, them same people. And if it wasn't for good white people, they'll throw y'all away. And you voted for it. Same with black people. Come on, man. Y'all need to step up. There should not be one Jew that voted for that Muslim. And not just because he's Muslim, the type of Muslim he is. That dude is a radical Muslim, and his wife is proving that point. It should be Jewish people all over New York protesting right now as we speak that he need to be out of office because his wife is a terrorist or terrorist sympathizer. Maybe that's a better point. All right, let's go to the next dummy, this Jake Lane guy. I got to talk about this fool. Y'all need to stop supporting this guy. He's not a faith, a Christian, spirit-filled person. He's not. He's cosplaying as a Christian. No Christian would be doing the stuff that we see him doing right now. You don't have to like Muslims, but you're going to take a pig to his doorstep. What value are you adding to the conversation? You out here saying that black people are inferior to white people and you claim you're a Christian. You are a nut job. Roll the clip real quick so you see a quick summary, and then we're going to move on to Kristi Noem's sorry self. Roll it.
We need a total remigration. Every Muslim out of New York. Stop the public Muslim prayer calls. This is what you get when you have a Muslim mayor. Within the first 2 months, a bomb is thrown outside his home trying to kill white American Christians. About a vehicle can pass me easily now. Zoran Madani, you're a terrorist sympathizer. You murder New Yorkers with your rhetoric. No, I will not. I will not. Do not touch me. My father will cause reasonable suspicion of a crime. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Zoran Madani is complicit for the near attack.
And what they do is they say a few things right, and people believe in him and support him. I wish I had that clip of him saying he don't want his daughters messing with N-words. You know how stupid you got to be to say so. I hate people that are racist. It ain't no one race is better than the other. There's ignorant folk in every race. To be honest, white people, listen, we live and die, the world live and die on white people right now. The good white people that vote for Republicans, the only reason why our constitutional republic is standing. Them dumb ones that's in the middle, them dumb white liberals in the middle of the street, the dumb white ones pushing feminism, they the dumbest. It's far more of them than black people. So as dumb as black people can be sometimes, white people outdo them. They want to ruin the whole country. talking about white guilt and white supremacy, and then they the ones pushing these black people to be silly. Want to give them reparations and all kinds of stuff. Y'all stupid too. Y'all got stupid people in your race too. Come on, play a little clip of him. Now I want to go to Kristi Noem's sorry self.
This was a 9/11 style terrorist attack.
9/11.
No word in his statement mentioned Islam, terrorism, or the perpetrators' names. But instead, he had to go on a rant, some type of therapy session about a white man named Jake Lang. How about the radical Islamic terrorists who tried to murder multiple New Yorkers? Shame on Zoran Mandami.
All right.
And we will be here.
I'll
and
let y'all
stand
watch this
against
clip another time. I got to
and
get
by
to Kristi
God's
Noem.
grace.
But this dude talking about God and everything, and I guarantee you push him, you press him, and ask him about race. And watch this fool be a racist nut job. We can't support people like him, Nick Fuentes, all them. I mean, you can do whatever you want. So I don't give what you do. I don't support that crap because it's bull crap. Before we get to the next segment, this is the first time that I've ever, second time in my life that I ever drank two. Y'all got me hyped today. I got two Shenergies. So if you're looking for energy that is clean, sustainable, that don't give you what they call it, a sugar dump and all that. We have zero sugar in our stuff. Man, it's pure. It's the best form, and we have 75 milligrams of caffeine in it. So therefore, if you want more, you drink more. You don't have to be stuck with 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is insane. All right, all you got to do is click the little QR code here. If you're on the TV, go to ShenergyLife.com, ShenergyLife.com if you want to get good quality energy. All right, let's get to Kristi Noem. I don't know how y'all feel, but I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. You spent $200 million. When this came out, I thought they said $200,000. I was like, oh, they kind of going a little far with $200,000 on an ad. That's a lot of money, but that's not that crazy, is it? $200 million. Let me say that again for people in the back. Kristi Noem spent $200 million taxpayer dollars on a mother-freaking ad where she's the only subject of the ad. And wait till you find out who got the ad revenue or who got the ad spend. Kristi Noem, I have no respect for Kristi Noem ever again. These people are evil. These people are shiesty, scam artists. There is no justification whatsoever for somebody to spend $200 million on an ad. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. You are shady. You're shiesty. You are the problem in America. You sorry, no good folk out here blowing people money and doing some pay-to-play stuff. Ain't no way this make no sense. Kristi Noem is just like the rest of them. She shady. She's spending money that ain't hers, doing stuff she shouldn't be doing. Come on, roll the ad so I can see what she spent $200 million on.
Why do I love these wide open spaces? They remind me of why our forefathers came here. Not just for its beauty, but for the freedom only America provides. I'm Kristi Noem. From the cowboys who tamed the West, to the titans who built our cities, to the dreamers who chased the impossible, America has always rewarded vision and grit. Our greatness calls people to us for a chance to prosper, to live how they choose, to become part of something special. Anyone who searches for freedom can always find a home here, but that freedom's a precious thing, and we defend it vigorously. You cross the border illegally, we'll find you. Break our laws, we'll punish you. Harm American citizens, there will be consequences. But if you come here the right way, your American dream can be as big as these endless skies. From President Trump and me, welcome home.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security. $200 million on that, bro? That's a good commercial. I ain't gonna lie, that's a good commercial. But $200 million? People are starving. People are struggling, and you want $200 million on an ad? Who are you convincing? Them Democrats don't care that you made that. Me? I already know that. You could have just sent that to influencers. We'd have put it on our Instagram. Free. Let's get to the part that matters the most to me. Let's go to where that she getting grilled that last clip that we did in the lineup with that black guy grilling. I think he's a Democrat. Let's just get to the brass tacks of this. We'll go back and listen to Kennedy, and we'll listen to a few other things. But listen to what this dude is saying, and there's nothing but truth to this. We researched it. Me and the wife was headed to Ambiente in Sedona. Shout out to Ambiente. They carry bourbon. They carry Verdict there. And it's the best place to go. I mean, if you got to have a little money in your pocket, though, but it's the best resort that I've ever been to. Anyway, we're on the way to Ambiente, and my wife was like, do you see what Kristi Noem did? Listen to what this man said. Roll it.
Madam Secretary, I'll read from the notice from your agency. Given the immediate action to significantly reduce illegal immigration and border crossings, DHS identified 4 companies. 4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States, you identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll tell you about it.
According to
Madam
law,
Secretary, the
address
is registered to a political operative. Madam Secretary, the company, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out.
Time out. Now, I don't want to hear none of y'all. I don't know. Somebody in the comment section probably saying, no, but Kristi Noem. What? Listen, y'all. I do this for profit stuff. I have an ad team. I know what this is. You do not give $140 million to a company that was established 7 days, 8 days before a contract. $140 million? That company has to be established. That company has to have history. That company has to win a bid. If you're giving that much money to a new company, something strange for a little change is happening. Let them finish, and then I'm going to play the Republicans, because she didn't just, it wasn't just a Democrat. Roll it.
You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
Yes,
that $143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered, apparently, or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South Dakota. The reason why I ask these questions is that this is taxpayer money. And I presume, I don't know this for a fact, but Senator Tillis noted yesterday the way in which your agency is blocking the Inspector General from 11 different investigations that it is trying to conduct. I don't know if this happens to be one of them. I certainly hope it is, because eventually the facts will become public in this regard.
Let me tell you what I think she did. You see, he had made mention that there was a company that was associated to her while she was in office. They created a shell company. Now, like, these people are so, I'm not letting them get away with this. They do a shell company that gets the money, and then they sprinkle it to places where they benefiting from it. But that's why they got the shell company, because it's a block. Because you only know that this company, unless you look into it, you only know that this company took the money. But this company took the money to pass it to this company, so you don't know. That's why it was a company established 7 days before the bid, because she knew that the bid was coming. She must have let somebody know. They started a company. Then they gave it $140 million, and then they passed it down to other companies that she must be benefiting from. I'm telling you, y'all, Republicans are doing this and Democrats are doing this. This is wrong. You are wrong, and we have no place for this foolery. Donald Trump, if you hear me, I love you, bruh, but this ain't it. She needs to be held accountable for this. There is no excuse. I know how money works. There is no excuse. If I were to do something like that, it's because I'm shady. There's no way I'll play with the people money like that. That company is not established. You can't do nothing like that. It looks bad. and then it somehow filtered to a company that was connected to you. Go to jail. I hope she go to jail over this. I hope you go to jail, Kristi Noem, if you committed a crime. And Donald Trump don't need to shift you somewhere. He need to put you in jail. Hate this stuff. I hate when people do this. Come on, we got some more interviews real quick that we're going to play because I want you to, I think that guy was a Democrat. I just could tell how the Democrats talk. But even our side, Kennedy had a couple questions for us as well. Roll it, clip 202.
The president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million.
$220 million.
Running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
Yes, sir. We went through the legal processes, did it correctly,
did the president know
worked
you
with
were going to do
OMB.
this?
Yes.
He did?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
And one thing, Senator, I think would be helpful to know is how effective that communications has been. That overwhelming.
Time out. How do you listen? I was on the radio. How you know what the ROI is? How do you it's no clickable buttons. How do you know what the real ROI is with the advertisement? I don't see anywhere where they say go to this website. Did you? I don't see any call to action. Where are you measuring that this effective $220 million on an ad where you the only person narrating? Come on, let her finish.
Effective in your name recognition. I mean, I personally just, I mean, to me, it puts the president in a terribly awkward spot. And I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. It's just hard for me to believe. Knowing
All right, next one. He had more questions. Roll it.
You said, Mr. President, here's some ads I've cut, and I'm going to spend $220 million running them, that he would have agreed to that. I don't think Russ Vogt at OMB would have agreed to that. It's something we have to defend. I'm on the Appropriations Committee. My research shows that you did not bid them out, that you pick, in fact, one of the people you picked, the strategy group, Safe America Media was a company formed 11 days before you picked them, and that strategy group got most of the money, and the head of that is married to your former spokesperson. Look, we all have friends who are qualified. I'm not quibbling with that. It troubles me. A fifth to a quarter of $1 billion of taxpayer money when we're scratching for every penny and we're fighting over rescission packages. I just can't agree with Madam Secretary.
Here's another clip.
Ads out across America, $250 million, in which she was prominently displayed. They looked a great deal like political ads. And I found that breathtaking. And when I see what I perceive to be spending porn, I don't care who does it. I'm going to call it out. I'm pretty cheap when it comes to taxpayer money. I squeak when I walk. And that's what happened. It also came out, though the Secretary denied it, that these were no-bid contracts, and then apparently some of them did not go to people whose names she got off ZipRecruiter. They went to political friends. And we talked about that. And I was stunned when she answered categorically that the president approved every single bit of it. Later that day, I got a call from President Trump. He was mad as a mama wasp. He said, Kennedy, I hope you understand that I had nothing to do with this. And I said, well, I do believe you, Mr. President. He was not happy. It was clear to me after that conversation that the secretary's time at the department was limited. That to be blunt, she was dead as fried chicken. And we talked about a few names that he might consider. And then what happened, happened. It's not personal. But President Trump was very irritated that the secretary had seemed to blame this on him.
I'm going to get to Jesse Jackson's funeral in 1 second. I'm so perturbed by this. Did she lie? I don't like Donald Trump doing this because, and I love Trump, man, but like this ain't a good look. Why would you cover for her? You should have said she a dirty dog and you would take her out back and slap her and throw her off the edge of a cliff, but instead you just fired her. I fired her. Like, I will never be that man. I'm not covering for you. I don't care if you're my best friend. You do something like that, I'm firing you, and I'm going to expose you. You did that, my note would be, I fired her, and she better never talk to me again or there's going to be some furniture moving. She did that, we're investigating, and I'm going to take her to jail if she's found guilty. It makes me so mad. These people, you know why it makes me so mad? That we're going to get to Jesse Jackson, I promise. Because I work hard and I'm busting my butt every single day to create a media organization and do all that I do. And I'm doing it the right way. I don't screw people. I treat people fairly, all of the above. And it takes a while for you to generate wealth when you're doing it the right way. The people that are doing side hustles and side dealing and cheating people out of their money and you giving your friend a benefit on taxpayer dollar to the tune of $200 million, I'm pissed. And I think that everybody in America should feel the same way. Ain't no way you gonna do us like that. The money and then the shame part. We're Republicans. We're supposed to be doing stuff the right way. They already was trashing Trump because he put these people in positions of power. And what do they do to thank him? They screw you. And you know why? This is not an accident. These people are con artists. Just like that other guy that looked like he drunk every day with his flushed face. What's his name? He looked drunk every time he talked. Steve Bannon. Build a wall. We're going to build a wall, everybody. Donate your money. I could not live with myself raising millions of dollars from you. And I know it's going to a porn star, which his co-founder wife is a whore. And I'm just going to call it like it is. His co-founder's wife is on OnlyFans. We exposed that when we were on the radio. She on OnlyFans with a booty and a stuff out. And they taking your money and paying for breast implants and everything. And I don't know what Steve Bannon was doing. I don't work with people like that. If I catch you doing that, I'm going to expose you, I'm going to fire you, or whatever the case may be. We ain't cool, we ain't buddies. You're not finna screw the American people over like that. It's been on my chest for a month now. I mean, not a month, but it feels like it's been on for a month. Republicans, we got to call these fools out. Even if Donald Trump out here cutting up. Donald Trump, I swear to God, if you cutting up, and you doing dirty deals, I'm going to call you out on it. I believe you're doing the right thing. Quit covering for these people. She making you look bad. All right, let's go to Jesse Jackson's funeral and roll it.
Do not bring your politics out of respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the life that he lived to these homegoing services.
It's before the funeral.
Come respectful and come to say thank you.
Before.
But these homegoing services are welcome to all.
No, you're not. Just Democrats.
Democrat, Republican, liberal, and conservative.
No, you're not.
Right wing, left wing. Because his life is broad enough to cover the full spectrum of what it means to be an American.
Not
we
really.
only ask people to come and be respectful in the context of the extraordinary life that he lived.
Each day we wake
Time out. After he said that, which I think is his daddy, so he gonna give his daddy some flowers before he. Jesse Jackson wouldn't know what y'all talking about. Jesse Jackson on TV and doing all that. Can't wait to talk about Republicans. Maybe in private he was like his son said, but I don't know. But then what do these devils, these Democrat devils, get on there and do? Roll it.
Each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions. Another setback to the idea of the rule of law. An offense to common decency. Every day you wake up to things you just didn't think were possible. Each day we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other, and that some Americans count more than others, and that some don't even count at all. Everywhere we see greed and bigotry being celebrated, and bullying and mockery masquerading as strength. We see science and expertise denigrated, while ignorance and dishonesty
during COVID.
and cruelty
okay.
and corruption are reaping untold rewards every single day. We see that.
Time out. And black people cheering this stuff. Y'all sad than y'all at a church of God who ran a guy who put up them LGBTQ people above y'all. You know how stupid, like I just wish that I could do a magic wand and like help black people. You know how stupid y'all look? Y'all out here cheering for a guy that did nothing for you. He was from Chicago, Illinois. He did not pass any legislation or make any efforts for young men not to get murdered in the middle of the street. He made no efforts. He get in and he makes sure gay people got rights. He makes sure illegals got opportunities. And y'all Negroes didn't get nothing out of him. You can't name a policy that he specifically identified for black people. And you at Jesse Jackson's funeral in front of all these black people and they cheering you on. And you just said not too long ago that black men are a problem because they didn't want to vote for a dumb woman that happened to be partially black, that was on her knees in order to get successful in life. She didn't work for it. She on her knees with Willie Brown standing on top of her, doing the nasty, allegedly, in order to get a place in life. She was not qualified. Come on, man. Put his son on there, because I want y'all to see. Cause I don't even want to play these nut jobs and what they said. Just know y'all can find these clips somewhere else. Now let's see what his son said after he told him don't be political. Roll it.
Yesterday,
look at these people, boy. God dang, black people. Really?
For several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson.
Why were they there?
He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message, the demands of speaking for the least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice that at no point in time ever sold us out as a people. And it speaks volumes about who the Reverend Jesse Jackson...
Hold on, Bishop. Let me speak. Let me preach real quick. Let me say this for the congregation in the tone of these black pastors that know how to be performative and talk sweet and cute, but they ain't got nothing behind that suit. You lying in part about your daddy, because I don't believe Jesse Jackson was balanced at all. Jesse Jackson, in my opinion, from what he presented to the world, was race hustling, along with that little skinny, big head dude in the back named Al Sharpton. I hope the Lord forgive you for some of that stuff y'all saying. Because the only reason that our country Come on, somebody give me an amen. The only reason that our country is the way that it is today is because you hoodwinking Negroes selling us out. Show me a Republican that was at his funeral saying anything about the love of this country. Instead, you had Democrats that ain't done jack for black people. After all these black people and all these Democrats that have been in office, come somebody give me an amen, there ain't no change in the black community. Black lives matter, don't matter. Black people don't matter to Black Lives Matter. Come on, somebody pass the offering plate. Y'all know how to hoop and holler and come together and put your songs together and sing and bling bling, but y'all ain't got God in you, not one bit. I'm sick of y'all. We just as stupid, and we done got stupider as a people. I remember before Martin Luther King had that nightmare that black people were prospering in America. Black people were doing well in America. Black people were beginning to progress in America. Black people had their own barbershops, own movie theaters, own everything. Own schools with great education, teaching real history, marrying the women they sleeping with. I remember, because I know history. But then here come the hood hustlers, selling us to the Democrat Party, and now we are failing as a people, generally speaking. I don't care how much money you got. If your brain gone, you still enslaved. When you got a black man with hundreds of millions of dollars in his pocket worth billions of dollars, and he's saying the white man is the enemy, we lost. When you got a brother that won't go to Chicago, Illinois, and mention nothing about young brothers laying dead right now in the street, but he crying about white supremacy that we can't even see, we lost. We got church on every corner in the black neighborhood. And we doing the most. Fraud, rape. They always talk about white people. White people got the biggest rape. No, that's white people raping other people. We rape it. In the black community, every black man that's watching this that's real with themselves, no, I ain't lying. We got an epidemic of young boys and girls getting raped by their own family members. I can't name a black person that wasn't molested by somebody in their family just about. Some of my best friends been touched when they were young by uncle them. But nobody told the police. That's why they don't get arrested, because y'all just covering up in the family. I got family members that are dead right now that was touching somebody. I know people that were married to people in my family now that I'm grown that, wait a minute, that math ain't mathing. How you was with her at 14? How were you with her at 16? I didn't hear rumors that some people were with somebody first and then they went to this person. I'm trying not to say nothing, but I know I got somebody that, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble. But we do that stuff and they covering it up. Nobody want to say Uncle so-and-so a predator. Everybody in the family act like they don't know he doing touching people and doing it to the little girls in the family. Punning their kids out, getting married and stuff. I'm the Negro whisperer. That's why they mad at me. They call me a sellout Uncle Tom bootlicker, because I'm on here telling the truth and y'all mad because I'm saying it in front of white people. Get your stuff together, man. I'm so sick of black people being so woe is me. You can't find, it's rare that you find a brother that love the Lord and believe in Christ's privilege over white privilege. You can't find one. Everybody a victim. They still complain about white people, and black people are the biggest threat to black people that have ever existed. Black people have murdered more black people than the Ku Klux Klan, hanging people and lynching, you name it. There ain't no group of people that have killed more black people than other black people. And that number is not slowing down. These YNs are out of control. Now the old generation of boys that ain't got no daddies out here killing and robbing. I put this on my life. Reverend Jesse Jackson Jr. don't live around black people. I could almost put it on my life. I don't know. He may live in a rich black neighborhood somewhere. But Jesse, Al Sharpton them don't live around black people. Al Sharpton kids went to a private school. All these black people in there charading around saying we love our community. As soon as they get money, they gone. You talk about white flight, there's a such thing called black flight. When black people make money, they move out the black neighborhood just like the white people do. They don't want nothing to do with you. They don't want nothing to do with them Negroes. Selling dope on every corner. Can't even go to the corner store. Because you scared somebody gonna gangbang on you. I grew up in the hood. I know what I'm talking about. You can't go to Zoom in at night. And the white people out there, it's because somebody may think you banging. Then they shoot you and your mama, you don't even come home no more. I got multiple family members doing life in prison. Like, come on, man. But nobody will say it but me, and y'all think I'm a sellout. I'm doing this because I love you and I want black people to change. Because black people have so much potential in this country, and they don't do nothing but throw it away. They throwing it away. And it's sad. Now let me get to my next topic. Before we get there, I want to tell you guys about Verdict. If you're looking for the best whiskey I've ever had, I'm telling y'all, go look at the reviews. Me and Jim hit the jackpot. I ain't gonna even lie. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. Everywhere we go to do tastings, immediately the restaurants say, we want it, no brainer. We're in a resort. I'm gonna wait till we on the menu to let you know what resort that is. I may have already said it. I did. Y'all missed it. We in the Belmont here in North Scottsdale, and we also in the Inns. So if you go to the Belmont, the Inns in North Scottsdale, ask them for Verdict. I don't know if your verdict is guilty or not. You can pick, but ask them for the verdict. Anyway, verdictbourbon.com. All right, now let's get to something else. Let's go to the Ver, and then I'm out of here. I do got a special thing I want to share with y'all after this. And if you're interested, I think it's incredible. I learned something crazy about GLP-1s. So if you're somebody taking fat loss drugs and all that stuff, you need to stick around for it. But just real quick, I got to talk about the Ver, and then I'm going to let y'all watch the interview if you're interested in continuing to watch, which I encourage you to do so, especially for y'all just joining. They done let my girl go. I don't know if they let her go or they subbed her. They done let my girl go off The View. The woman in the top corner, I forget her last name, Elizabeth. What's her last name? Hasselbeck. Elizabeth, she just followed me. Elizabeth, if you watch this, I want you to come on the show. I need you to be the most sane woman I've heard on The View ever in history of The View. My wife told me that she was on The View and she had to quit because these women are insufferable. But then they put her back on there and she became Scott Jennings of The View. They had to get her off. So they replaced her with a fat black nut job that claimed that she was a Republican 300 years ago. Come on, play the clip.
Joining us at the table this week as a guest co-host is lifelong Republican and comedian on a pit stop from her I Need a Job comedy tour. Yeah. The fabulous Cheryl Underwood.
Stop. She ain't fat no more. She took Ozempic. I'm sorry. But Cheryl Underwood, man, like, who do y'all think y'all tricking? A lifelong Republican, just like Ana Navarro is supposed to be a Republican. Y'all stupid. Y'all done got rid of that woman up there whooping y'all and giving a real Republican for this woman. Now let's see what Cheryl, is Cheryl gonna talk? Let's see what Auntie Cheryl gonna talk about since she's a lifelong Republican. Roll the clip.
Thank you.
If you had come a week earlier, you might be DHS secretary.
And I will accept. They need somebody with some sense in this administration.
Come on, Republican, lifelong.
There is life here. Mm-hmm. We can do this. I know we can. Right. We can do this regardless of what side of the aisle you're on.
Hello.
If we're
they had to get rid of that white
to
lady.
Make the country better,
they had
we
to
can
get
work
rid
it
of the
out
white
together.
Lady.
I believe that.
That's right. And Whoopi, to that point, I think when you know, they thing is make America great, right? I think when we see people with the hat and the shirt on, we should just walk up to them and shake their hand and go, we already have made America great. We did it together.
Yes.
If we come together as a country, we come together as Americans, and it's okay to disagree with your leaders because they need somebody to say, that's not what we should be doing.
All right. Yes. All right.
They didn't put that lady on there and gave her a script and said, please make it right. because this white woman tearing us up on here. White chocolate on there tearing them up, boy. They can't handle it, so they got to put the sister mom on there. Talking about she a Republican. That's just, y'all better quit. That's like saying I'm a Democrat. They like to put me on the show and say Brandon was a lifelong Democrat. Yeah, right. All right, is that the last clip on there? Yeah, they got Shirley. They got Shirley. They got Shirley Temp on there talking. Roll the clip.
He ran on America first, and I think people voted for him because they wanted to fix our infrastructure. They wanted us to have affordability in our housing, of education. He ran on fixing this country, and I think people have been duped. I think people are disappointed, and it's really easy to start a war. We've seen that. It's really difficult to end a war, and I think what is very scary for me, and you and I were talking about this at the break. You know, he's saying, well, maybe, he said on the airplane, maybe we'll have boots on the ground. Our military, we are the biggest, the best trained military in the world, but you're going to be fighting in Iran's backyard. That is guerrilla fighting. That is a street fight. Our soldiers.
Hold on real quick. Ladies, shut your mouth. I wish I can cuss. Can I cuss? Maybe in the subscription stuff, I'm going to cuss. I want to cuss. Ladies, shut up. That is guerrilla war. Do you understand that this is 2026, man. We don't have to put boots on the ground. We're not fighting guerrilla war. We just drop that bomb like this, and everybody die. We get that drone, boom, everybody dead. We ain't got to do much of nothing. We trying not to get the citizens involved. That's the only reason why this would even be a thing. We could just go bloop, 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 blow, everybody gone. Start over new. Iran, new form. The new version of Iran. The new Iran. That's what we call it, like New Mexico, new Iran. We could do that if we wanted to. Lady, quit talking. You ain't never served, ain't put a badge on, probably ain't never touched a gun before. Shut the front door. Roll the clip.
Many
Nick
of them will
worse.
not come home.
That's right.
Am I correct that is a different type of fighting?
And would they adhere to the Geneva Convention?
They won't.
And to your point, the presidents that you named, we trusted them. It was a different time. We didn't have what looks like an opportunist in chief in the White House. I'm not against the president. I'm against the person who is in the office right now that does not seem to care about what his actions cause.
And by the way,
that's the only problem I have.
Let's all remember. And I think when you don't remember history, past becomes prologue. Weapons of mass destruction, there were no weapons of mass destruction. So we got into war. We got into a war.
But we know what we sold them. We know what we sold them when you were on our side and we gave you weapons. That's why, because I was in that one. And we thought we were going to, I had to put on that chem warfare. Everybody out there in the military know it was in pieces and you had to put on the head first and blow it out. Then you had to put on the pants. All military people know what I just said. But we know what we sold them when they were working on our side. And that's what we're up against. But this is different. And they just put in their leader, who's an extension of what they are. There you go.
So there's no regime.
There you go. I'm sorry, Whoopi.
No. It's just, I said this a couple of days ago at this table. You don't know who's coming in.
That's right.
Yeah, and this is his son, and
this
he's
is his kid.
further
That's right.
He thinks it's all going to be like Venezuela, where he got the vice president, who's, but these are, that was a kleptocracy. This is a theocracy. These people believe this stuff deeply. It's a completely different ball of wax.
Basically, we are sending people in to lose their lives.
Yes.
Because we've seen how fighting goes. We knew we shouldn't have gone into Afghanistan, and we knew that, and they decided to do it anyway. So now we're in the same position with someone who doesn't seem to care that human beings are being sent to war, that people's sons and daughters. His kids aren't going.
No.
So, I don't want anybody's son and daughter to go. I don't want anybody to go because this is not what we should be doing. And you said you weren't going to do this. It's one more.
And by the way, it is costing almost $1 billion a day. It is costing $891 million.
Do you know what it's costing us in the world?
Right.
Do you have any idea how messed up we are sitting on top of this?
But before we go, we do not want our troops to feel like we do not care for what they are doing. We applaud them for standing in the gap for us.
We need to name this show The Menopause. let me not say that. Some white women be mad at me, but some ain't right. They hot flashing or something going on. They doing something. There ain't no way the average woman thinks like this. It can't be women. Women, please tell me that. Please come on in the comment section. I know y'all don't think like that. There ain't no way women think like that. It can't be. You got 4 women on there is stupider than 3 left shoes on an 8-legged man. Women, how are you on these women? How are you on here talking about war you ain't never fought? Talking about we getting y'all fools that made the argument that Donald Trump is a different president. Every other president went to war and stayed. He haven't gotten us in a war that we can't win. The war been like a week. And they like, it's a never-ending war. It's only been a week. And we control the airspace. All right, but I want to talk about something else. We got to get to this next topic. I want you guys to stick around for this interview. It's only about 18 minutes. I want you guys to see this. If you're taking GLP-1s, fat loss supplements, whatever, you need to listen to this. Literally, people are going blind. They're going blind doing this stuff, so you better listen. But I want you guys to hear this interview. Only 18 minutes, just 18 more minutes of your time. Listen to this interview and let me know in the comment section what you think about it. Roll it. Vision loss lawsuits are continuing to mount up against Ozempic and other manufacturers like that. I'm going to give you some stats real quick. 1 in 8 Americans are now using GLP-1 drugs for weight loss and diabetes and other reasons. Studies have linked popular diabetes and weight loss drugs to irreversible blindness. I'm not making this stuff up. Like, people are literally going blind. America's Poison Center reports that about 1,500% increase, or reports a 1,500% increase on GLP-1 related calls within the last year. These vision loss lawsuits are scary and insane, if you ask me. But this isn't the first time that creators of GLP-1 weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy have been sued for extremely detrimental, severe side effects. Thousands of individuals have filed lawsuits in 2025 and in 2026, claiming there's a long list of debilitating conditions not properly listed on the warning label. And let me just give you an example of one of them.
Juanita Gantz struggled with her weight. At age 62, she weighed 242 pounds. Yet the most she could lose trying various diets, she says, was about 20 pounds.
I almost felt defeated and humiliated. I mean, why couldn't I lose this weight?
Then she saw ads for drugs, including Ozempic. Her doctor agreed that because of her diabetes risk, she was a good candidate for one of those drugs and prescribed her Wegovy and later Ozempic, both GLP-1 drugs made by Novo Nordisk. But several months later, in October 2023, Gantz's husband found her on the floor unconscious. This photo was taken by her daughter, a nurse at the hospital where Gantz was taken.
I had no idea what had happened to me.
Doctors found parts of her large intestine had died. It had to be removed. Then, while recovering from surgery, she went into cardiac arrest, prompting the hospital to call her daughter to warn her her mother could die.
I had no warning that this was even a possibility.
She's now suing drug maker Novo Nordisk, claiming its drug labels do not adequately warn patients and doctors about potentially serious side effects, including gastroparesis or stomach paralysis and bowel obstruction. Gantz says she wants others to know about her experience.
This should not have happened to me. It just should not have happened to me. If it happened to me, it could happen to you.
And I'm telling y'all, like, the reason I want to show that, because y'all got to quit playing with these GLP-1s and make sure that you know what you're doing. People are going blind and all kind of crazy things are happening. And I want to bring in a guest to talk about this, because I think this is one of those topics that you need somebody that know what they're talking about more so than I do to address these issues. And I want to bring in Ellie Hirsch, who's the Senior Health Advisor at Brightcore, to discuss all of these topics related to these crazy lawsuits and blindness in these, GLP-1s. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I mean, first of all, I feel horrible for this lady, her family.
I mean, part of her large intestine actually died, which almost killed her. And what makes me feel even more sad is that these stories is just one of many things. You know, she tried everything. She couldn't lose the weight. She trusted the warning labels, got very sick, and almost died. And, you know, these lawsuits are popping up left and right. And they're around, like you said, vision loss, right, due to optic nerve damage, stomach paralysis. You know, the stomach stops moving the food effectively. And that leads to persistent vomiting and hospitalization, and then intestinal obstructions, right? Life-threatening blockages in the digestive tract. And listen, I understand the temptation. Everybody's thinking about their health and their weight loss and how they look. I mean, it's always in our face, social media. I'm turning 50 in 2 months. I get it.
Hold on, no,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yes.
You're turning 50.
I am in May. I am turning 50. It's crazy.
Well,
but
you
it's
look
true.
amazing. 50 years old, and it's never looked better. So
Thank you.
I had to give you
made
props.
my day. But I get it, right? So everybody wants to maintain their appearance. Nobody wants to age, really. But a quick fix, it's very appealing, right? But turning to prescription drugs like these, they can have really dire consequences. And I've been helping people, working with people to fix their health for so long. I understand the dangers of a quick fix. You know, it's kind of like one of those get rich quick schemes. You never actually get rich, and you never actually get healthy when you turn to these drugs. But the one thing we have to always remember, unfortunately, is these pharmaceutical companies, they're looking to make a profit more than they're looking out for our best interests, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we have a graphic here for people to look at, but I find that to be very interesting. And this thing started out so hot and people were so excited about it, but it has caused a lot more problems. And the fact that they're not notifying people or showing, you know, proper things on the label, they're going to pay for it.
Yeah, and you know what's really surprising? The third leading cause of death in the United States is prescription drug use. That's insane. And prescription medication is supposed to make you better, not make you almost die. But it's not because of overdoses. It's not because of, you know, acute complications. It's all about the gut microbiome and how these drugs, they affect the microbial diversity within the gut. And for those that don't know what a gut microbiome, it's the internal ecosystem that just helps keep your body working properly. And when it's balanced, it's linked to better digestion, immunity, overall health. But when it's imbalanced, and that's called dysbiosis, you are dealing with possibly diabetes, obesity, autoimmune conditions, gut issues, even anxiety or depression. And so more information is coming out every day about how these drugs are killing that diversity, which is connected to the chronic diseases that we just talked about in all areas of your body. And the reason why gut microbiome is related to immune health, 70 to 80% of your immune system is stored in the gut. And it depends on that balance of good and bad bacteria. But it's not just your immune system. There are countless examples of how your gut affects every area of your health, like I just mentioned.
You know, some people say that's your second brain, you know, having, you know, you got to protect your gut. And it's funny because, you know, obviously I've had the same, you know, struggle and issue to, you know, when it comes to gut health and stuff. And people remind me all the time, and especially in sports and all of the above. But I want people to take a look at what the FDA commissioner, Dr. Marty McCary, I think I'm saying the name right, had to say about, you know, the gut biome, microbiome.
The agency, and this is common of regulatory agencies, tend to fall behind and not be able to keep up with the times.
I agree. We talked
about
that.
The microbiome is the biggest frontier of medicine that we are not talking about, that we need to talk about. We know things mess up the microbiome and directly result in diseases. One of the biggest studies in modern medicine that has been ignored, and I think one of the most important studies, has been a recent study out of the Mayo Clinic that looked at kids who got antibiotics in the first 2 years of life and then tracked them as to what diseases they developed later. Now, why would antibiotics potentially cause disease? Well, the theory is that we know antibiotics alter the microbiome. It's almost like carpet bombing parts of the microbiome.
Yeah.
And you get bacterial overgrowth. We don't know what to do with it. We know overgrowth is associated with inflammation. And so I just wrote down some of these study results. The kids that got antibiotics in the first 2 years of life, 20% higher rate of obesity, 21% higher rate of learning disabilities, 32% higher risk of developing attention deficit disorder, 90% higher rate of asthma,
90% higher rates of asthma in kids that were given multiple antibiotic dosage.
Any antibiotic exposure in the first 2 years of life. And there was what we call a dose-dependent relationship. The more courses of antibiotics a kid got, the greater the risk of obesity, learning disabilities, ADHD, asthma. Celiac had a 200, nearly 300% higher risk if a kid took antibiotics.
Wow.
Crohn's disease, nearly a 300. All these diseases are going up.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. You know, it's just crazy. I'm almost speechless and thinking about how we know this information, especially in young kids, and people need to take some steps in the right direction. I love Gary Brecker, by the way. I mean, that guy's absolutely tremendous and smart, and I'm glad he did this interview.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you know, Dr. McCary, he is spot on, right? I cannot stress enough how your gut microbiome determines your overall health, immune, brain, heart, obesity. And again, having dealt with so many clients, I have discovered that if you make this one change to your diet, it can make a world of difference. And that one change is to consume kimchi. It is the best thing you can do for your overall health, for your gut microbiome. And the reason why I am such a big proponent of it is because it contains over 900 strains of unique beneficial bacteria, 900. And, you know, it's interesting, the problem with obesity that so many people are trying to solve with prescription drugs, and, you know, some people even extremely in surgery, it can actually be solved with natural changes that are long lasting because they fix the problem at the source. And, you know, something that people may not know, there was actually a study done that showed that people who are obese, they're actually missing a couple of crucial probiotics within their gut that people within a healthy weight range possess. So having these specific strains can make all the difference between someone being obese or being skinny. And, you know, kimchi has all these probiotic strains, and that's why recent studies are showing how effective eating kimchi really is.
And here's an article right here, and I think we'll link it so people can go and look at it on their own. But kimchi diet reduces fat by 31%, and that's absolutely amazing. And I have to say, and I love taking or consuming kimchi, and I know we'll talk about a little bit of that in a minute, because it has made an incredible difference in my life. And I'm hoping that people understand that, because I'm on this big kick, and my wife needs to literally, if she needs to watch this, because we talk about this all the time, and she talks about it to the kids all the time about natural ways to deal with things versus using not probiotics, but using medication and prescription drugs. Like, we're a big family that's against that. You know, we want you to start with the natural way of doing things instead of, using pharmaceutical drugs first.
Oh, 100%. I mean, when people get these beneficial strains of bacteria into their system naturally, they can achieve their body weight goals. Yeah. And, you know, this study, it's one of hundreds out there. But just in general, to give you a summary, I mean, people who are consuming kimchi, they are lowering their body mass index. They're reducing their abdominal fat. They're seeing smaller waistlines, more regularity, less constipation and bloating. Nothing is worse than walking around just constipated and you just look heavier than you are. You feel terrible. You're full of poop. You feel like poop. You know what I mean? That's the truth.
Yeah, we got another clip. I want y'all to roll clip 6. We got another
Here
clip
in Hawaii, kimchi, it's a local favorite, and now a new study gives us even more reason to like kimchi. A recently published report in South Korea found that people who ate moderate amounts of kimchi daily are at a lower risk for developing obesity. The report found that Korean men who consumed 1 to 3 servings of kimchi a day are less likely to develop obesity than those who ate less than a serving per day. So there you go, pound down the kimchi.
I love that.
It's pretty amazing what it does for your skin. And the reason why is, so there is something called the gut-skin axis, right? So there's a direct link between our gut and the quality of our skin and the speed at which it ages. And I was so excited when we found this.
Yeah, this is awesome. I want you guys to take a look at that, especially those who watching this on the TV. You can see it. It's blown up good enough for you to read it. Yeah, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it shows that when they introduced kimchi to human cells, it actually slowed down the aging of the cells. And when you slow down aging on a cellular level, the aging of the tissue, it slows down the aging of the entire body. So kimchi, it's a staple in Korea. Koreans live 6 years longer than Americans. We've all heard about Korean glass skin, and it's not a coincidence. It's proven. And, there are so many health benefits from kimchi. And, we at Brightcore, we wanted to make it easy for people to consume daily. And that's why we created Kimchi One.
Oh,
We're
that's
excited
awesome.
about it. Yeah, and it's convenient capsules for daily use. There's no bad taste or odor because sometimes kimchi can be too much for certain people. It's low in sodium, unlike the store-bought kimchi. It's 100% made in the US. It's all natural, non-GMO. But what I love about working with Brightcore and being a part of Kimchi One are the success stories that I get to hear from people. People with, digestion and regularity we were talking about a minute ago, no longer are seeing those problems. People who had issues with their immune system, they're sick all the time, not getting sick anymore. People that can't lose the weight and they're finally seeing like a reduction in their waistline. People with diabetes or anyone struggling with high pressure, cholesterol, they couldn't find a way to get off those prescription drugs, and now they can. And also, hair loss. That's a big thing as we age, right? And people who are taking this, they're able to regrow thicker, healthier hair. And there's a billion studies that actually backs that up as well. So it's just amazing for all parts of your body.
Yeah, and I love how Brightcore has the Kimchi One in pill form. That is probably the best way to take or consume kimchi because it is pretty strong. Like if you just eat that thing straight out, it can be very powerful. And some people they'll get burnt out at the taste. But taking it with in the pill form, which is the way I do it, and it's super easy. It's the easiest thing ever. I just take them right away. It tastes a little bit of kimchi, which actually tastes pretty good, but it's not overwhelming and too strong for you to actually consume it. So,
yeah. The proof is in the pudding. I take it every day and I notice a huge difference. And, we're excited to be here today and share all this with your viewers. And I have an exciting offer that I want to kind of share with everybody. Dun, dun, dun. So you can get 25% off by clicking the link below and using Tatum. Okay. But even better, if you call 888-751-4429, you can actually get up to 50% off plus free shipping. And the reason why I say that is because, we're a small family business and we want to speak to you. We want you to call to ensure this is the right product for you. We want to be on that journey with you. And the first 100 callers will also get a free bottle of Fortify with their order. And Fortify, in case you're not aware, contains all 9 essential amino acids. So you're protecting against cellular damage, you're retaining muscle mass just by, delivering those building blocks your muscles need more efficiently than just eating protein. So, if you call, just a reminder, you not only get the bigger discount, a free bottle of Fortify, but you get to talk to us. And, we love that. And that number again is 888-751-4429.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this with my audience. Thank y'all for being so generous. I mean, 50% off is crazy. And I can't see anybody wouldn't be smart enough to take that. I don't want to say smart enough, but use wisdom enough to take advantage of that. Use a cell phone call. But I appreciate you. And so the audience know, I take kimchi every single day. It's super easy. It's a no-brainer for me. But thank you so much for joining us and giving us the information about the blindness and all kind of other stuff and talking about the gut microbiome and all of those good things. And I appreciate it. We love you guys. And we definitely appreciate having you on the show to talk about kimchi and also talk about some of these issues that most Americans need to be paying attention to.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, an incredible interview. Y'all better be paying attention to this stuff, man. Do you want to be blind? Okay. But I think the coolest thing about all of this is that understanding 2 things, and I talk about this all the time, and my wife talks about it, especially y'all who follow on social media. You need to be natural, and you need to watch the stuff that you eat. And it's funny because it's biblical. You are what you eat. You eat trash, you're going to feel like trash. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you guys about our membership program just real quick, and then we're going to get over to the after show. What do they call it? Post-show clarity. I almost forget the post-show clarity name. So let's put the graphic up real quick. We got about 30 seconds. I'm going to show you guys. If you want to join the membership, here's our membership setup. Real quick, you can be a rookie, graduate to an officer, become a commander, or be a deputy chief. But if you are in the officer category and above, you have access to post-show clarity. So get prepared for it. Thank you guys for watching. I don't even know what time I'm at, 20 seconds. All right, I love you guys. See you on the other side. Hold the phone.